Has your health been covered up? Today, it's Revealing Wholeness with Dr. Troy Munson, presented to you by Infinity Whole Health.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson on Revealing Wholeness. You know, it's springtime right now, and in Washington, when the sun comes out, it's a miracle, and it's been coming out a lot, and the weather is beautiful. And so for all you people out there that are listening, maybe in other parts of the world, that the sun is also coming out, or maybe you're in the fall because you're in the southern hemisphere, well, then you'll have to play this for yourself in 6 months. But for the rest of us on the northern hemisphere, we got sun coming out, and that means that we have skin that is going to be fried soon if we're not paying attention. And this is also the time to really start ramping up vitamin D production and making sure that your body can do it in an amazing way so that all summer long that you can store vitamin D for the winter months when we don't get much. And so I want to talk about how that works. We've done it on other talks, but it is always one that is a great reminder this time of year. And I am not much of myself a sunblock user because I don't want to block any of those wonderful rays. I just want to control the time that I'm in the sun. The goal is to get to the edge of pink and be done. So let's talk about what happens in the skin when we get sun. Now, everybody says that skin cancer is because of the sun, but I beg to differ that for the last couple thousand years or longer, that sun's been up there shining pretty much the whole time. And, you know, we've always, as humans, we're out on the plains, or, you know, maybe we have a hut or a house or something, and we've always gotten sun, and yet, you know, skin cancer is kind of a newer thing. And it's mostly chemically driven, so I'm really cautious in putting chemicals on the body. And if you think about it, your skin being an organ, the largest organ, whatever you put on it, it's absorbing and it's going into you. So if you can't eat it, I wouldn't necessarily put it on your skin. And that goes for the ladies with makeup and us guys with lotions and things like that. You really do want to be more cautious. Like using coconut oil on the skin, fine. More natural cosmetics would be something that I would urge you to head towards. I know there are cosmetics with SPF on them. And so they act like, or at least they say they protect the skin and help with wrinkles. And that's not necessarily true. I do know that they'll try to stay hydrated or keep those skin cells hydrated, but oftentimes what they're doing is they're putting estrogen in those lotions. And then as guys, we'll go ahead and use those lotions not knowing any better, and now we're getting estrogens just from the lotion that our female counterparts have available to us. And so if we really look at the skin, its job is to produce vitamin D as well as obviously protect us from infection, things like that. But we're talking about when sun hits the skin, there's alpha-linolenic acid in our skin that turns to one of 50 different types of vitamin D that we know of to date. Vitamin D is technically not even a vitamin. It is more of a hormone. And we make it in one organ, and it goes to another organ and stimulates that organ or that tissue. And that's pretty much the definition of a hormone. And so vitamin D, we'll run out to the store and buy D3 because we've heard that D3 is the best, because there's this D2 and maybe there's a D1, who knows, but everybody goes for D3. Well, in the blood, we don't want vitamin D just running willy-nilly either. It's carried by that same oil that's in our skin that the sunlight turns to vitamin D. So ALA oil is carrying the vitamin D in our blood. It's also carrying calcium and other minerals. And so when we start making vitamin D in our skin, if we have enough calcium and ALA oil, we actually pull the vitamin D away from the skin, and we now have enough ALA oil to continue making vitamin D, which actually protects us from getting a sunburn. So a sunburn is hypervitamindiosis. So what you're watching on your skin as it turns pink is the vitamin D is actually irritating it, and it's burning. And so if we have enough calcium, enough oil in our blood naturally and in our diet, we pull that vitamin D away very quickly and we store it like we're supposed to all summer long. So I encourage you to get sun. That same ALA oil is what our skin uses actually to protect it from wrinkles. And so we call it Cataplex F or vitamin F. and that is actually the cosmetic vitamin. So vitamin C and vitamin E is important to a smaller extent on every cell in our body to make sure that it stays hydrated, to make sure that it's protecting itself from damage. And that's natural vitamin C. That's not ascorbic acid that you would buy in a health food store. That is not vitamin C. That is the preservative portion of the vitamin C complex. So we get real vitamin C from foods, we get real vitamin E from foods, and those are things that I would definitely want you to well research where the highest content foods are of those things. And then as you're in the sun, you're protecting yourself with the good fats and actually reducing wrinkles, as well as creating vitamin D and having the calcium, which then goes into the cells, helps our bones stay strong, helps our immune system, because calcium is the main firefighter of the immune system to put out fires, which we call infections. And ultimately, the calcium as well is going into the cells to increase the cell structure or the scaffolding within the cell that keeps it pushed out in its shape and helps it stay hydrated. So this podcast is kind of hitting all the aspects of skin for the summer months coming and how to stay healthy and how to have your skin continue to look great, and so that you don't kind of fear the wrinkles when we get older. So again, don't burn. Come to the edge of pink. So if it takes you 5 minutes, 5 minutes each side of your body, and you're done. If you can go 15 minutes before you get pink, great. Continue to get sun all summer long and store it for the winter months. I noticed in my own personal life, by about January, I'm starting to take a little vitamin D because I realize I'm lacking it. And so, but up here in Washington State, we don't get a whole lot of sun, so I get as much as I can, and I realize that we're probably running out later in the summer. So until next time, enjoy the sun. I'm Dr. Troy Munson on Revealing Wholeness.
This concludes another episode of Revealing Wholeness with Dr. Troy Munson. If you have any questions concerning this podcast or others, you can reach Dr. Munson by email at chiroman, that's C-H-I-R-O man, at dr.com. Or you can call him at his office during office operation hours at 360-893-8586. This show is sponsored by Infinity Whole Health on the Disruptors Podcast Network.
The information on this podcast from Dr. Troy Munson is meant to educate the listener on a variety of health issues. It is not meant to diagnose or treat any conditions.